What's up, everybody? This is Some Type of Artist. Welcome back to Let's Play .hack GU. In the last episode, we did a bunch of quests because I was annoyed seeing new next to them. So now we are going to do an area Gaspard had recommended to level up for Alkaid. Now, earlier I had mentioned when I fought Alkaid, who is, if you forgot, the next person that we're going to be fighting in the arena. She had kicked my butt, like, a few times. I was not prepared to handle her. So, I think what happened originally was I was just gonna skip this area entirely and just go straight for the next arena battle. But since I wasn't doing well, I thought, maybe go and do it. And since it was an area suggested by Gaspard, I never know if it's going to be, like, there's some kind of story thing to be in here, so I left this all in instead of just recording off-screen. So, yeah, not a lot's going to happen in this episode. We're just going to be leveling up a bit. We're going to be managing some items for a bit, so we'll get improved gear if you guys are that interested in what's going on for that. But otherwise, it's just going to be another chilled out episode. We're just gonna be talking about whatever we happen. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're just gonna be trying to talk. That's what we're gonna be doing. So, we just saved a little girl from getting PK'd in an online game. I feel like I've done a lot. And now we're saving Mecha Grunty, thank goodness. I don't even know why I bother with this thing, because all it does is just waste your Chim Spheres more and more each time. Like, I don't think the rewards for doing this or anything, and I don't think I find Mecha Grunty enough to, like, even hit a lot of the tiered rewards in the first place. However, you do get a reward immediately after saving him, and even if it's just, like, one extra healing item, I don't know. I think it's kind of worth it. Collecting Chim Spheres is not a big deal. So, these enemies, I don't know. I feel like we've had to have fought enemies like these before, but I am so bad at remembering what I've talked about in previous episodes. So I'll just repeat myself here. These enemies with the blue bars underneath them, that blue bar is kind of like the red armor bar. They have like another armor set on them that will kind of prevent you from doing any decent damage. Like you're seeing here, all you're really doing are like 1s and 2s. But the more you chip away at it, the more it'll help for taking it down. So you can't really start damaging them until that blue bar is down. In a way, they're worse than the red armor ones, because the blue ones are like a flight armor kind of thing. Like flying enemies will have these blue bars, and you can't hit them as well. This is where I might recommend teaching Haseo some magic if you absolutely are getting fed up with them, because magic can hit them. In fact, Gaspard is probably going to be doing the best to take these things down at the moment. And might I say, I like that touch with Gaspard's weapon there, his grimoire, with the pages going like a mile a minute while he's casting a spell. I think that's pretty cool. It's a nice attention to detail you probably won't see too often. So, trying hard to not complain about GU as much as I have been, but I want to give it points for what it does right, because it does do things right. But since we're under leveled, these enemies are going to be taking a little while to do. Luckily, we do get a skill very soon, maybe even after this battle, I don't remember, that for the broadsword that is meant to target flying enemies. So that'll help out a little bit. It's a good skill to like drain that bar faster, and that'll hit it. I mean, God, how many Regekis we did? We got a ton of extra experience there. But yeah. So that's the blue bar enemies. I can't remember how often we've seen them, but I know for sure I talked about the red bar ones, and we've seen the blue bar ones. So hopefully I'll remember not to explain it again. They are a pain though. Um, in this game, unfortunately you can't do like a quick weapon change. You can pause. You can like go to the menu in the game and then take your twin blades out. Which, by the way, if you haven't, if you were wondering why I haven't been using twin blades that much, when I get the broadsword in GU Volume 1, I usually just stick with the broadsword for the rest of the game, just because of what a pain it is to switch weapons in battle. And you know, the broadsword's good for dealing with armored enemies, so I usually like to just, you know, have that on hand. So, unfortunately for Volume 1, I don't think I'm going to be taking the twin blades out very often anymore. It's going to be mostly the broadsword, which sucks because broadsword is definitely my least favorite, but I do find it more useful than the twin blades in the second half of this game. In Volume 2, once you get your second job extension and get your ability to use a scythe again back, you'll, I think, yeah, Twin Moons. This is your new broadsword skill. And I'm going to the skill trigger right away to make sure that's on there. But once you get your scythe back, you'll be able to set skill trigger commands for all of your arts, including twin blades and broadswords and scythes all at once. So you can set them on the skill triggers, and then when you go to do a skill trigger command or a Rengeki, if you select an art that's used by a different type of weapon, you'll very quickly, immediately put your weapon away and take the other one out and perform your attack with it. And then you're free to use your new weapon for the rest of, however long you want to use it, basically. It's really good. I really love that. And I was kind of confused at first in Volume 1 when I was replaying it again, because I knew it was something you can do, and it's like, oh, I guess you can't really do this until you get to that part in Volume 2, which sucks. You know, GU doesn't, Dot Hack in general doesn't have a lot of differences in between games. It's mostly just the same gameplay. They'll add like a new area type here and there just to like give a little something new, but basically what you see is what you get with Volume 1. But there are a couple of minor things that I think improve the game, like that weapon switching is definitely more better. You can switch your character's equipments in Volume 2. I love it so much. I don't know why you couldn't do it in Volume 1, and it was driving me crazy earlier in the Let's Play when I was just cycling through menus, like trying to figure out why can you customize your party members' weapons, but you can't switch their actual weapons. And I don't remember why I was trying to switch weapons in the first place. I think maybe I gave a higher level weapon to somebody, and then when we were in the field, they got to the right level requirement, and they didn't switch to that weapon automatically, and I wanted them to. So I tried to change it, but whatever. Yeah, it's really cool, the quick weapon switch. So I'm looking forward to getting to that point in the Let's Play, so we can talk more about that. Basically, all of your weapons can get covered. I usually like to put, like, make sure one skill in there can take care of aerial enemies, and one sword can take care of, they call it Pierce under the skill thing. And that's for the extra armor enemies. Well, again, we'll get to that when we get to that. Ooh, and Gasper learned Gonbolg. That is a new Earth magic skill, I believe. Gon is Earth, I think. Yeah, unfortunately, you don't really see too much with the elements in GU. Fans of the original series will definitely be able to, you know, appreciate what little they brought back for the elemental stuff in GU, but it's not too important. If you're just playing this normally as just like another JRPG, all you gotta know is Gaspar just got another skill to attack with. Yeah, Gaspard. I miss Gaspard. Gaspard and Syllabus kind of become less and less relevant as time goes on. They play a pretty big role in Volume 1, and I appreciate that, but the more Epitaph users that are introduced in Volume 2, the more, like, I don't want to say the story will focus on them, but like the areas you need to go to usually require you to have them with you, and they don't really offer a lot of opportunities to like freely select your third party member. So it's kind of nostalgic looking at Syllabus and Gaspard together here. Nostalgic from when I was playing this game like a month ago. Nostalgia's like so weird. Like, you can be nostalgic from like any length of time. Like, I remember in college, semesters were like a few months long, and you know, even sometimes like around midterms, I'd get nostalgic for like the beginning of the term. And it's so stupid, because it's not even like it was usually something I wanted to go back to. It was just something where it's like, things are happening so quickly. Remember when it was like that back then, and it was like a month and a half ago? Yeah, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of other stupid nostalgic stuff now. I could say my time playing Breath of the Wild earlier this year is nostalgic, and that was like only a few months ago. And technically I'm still playing it, because I picked up Master Mode when that DLC came out, and I just kind of wanted to see the differences, but I don't know. Breath of the Wild turned into a much more kind of pick up and play game than I thought it would. So, you know, if I'm not recording GU and I don't know, not playing Splatoon 2 now, I'll probably end up just playing Breath of the Wild for a little bit at a time. I'm not really like considering myself seriously playing it. It's just something like on the side when I can think of it. Because I bring my Nintendo Switch with me to work, because I have a long commute, so I usually have like 15 or 20 minutes to kill before my shift starts. So I'll have the Switch with me. I'll just play a little bit of that at a time. So that's when I usually pop in Breath of the Wild and just, you know, mess around. It's a fun game just to like, you know, wander around in. Like Dot Hack, the original series. I'm never gonna stop this. I'm never gonna stop comparing GU to the original series. But what can I say? I enjoy the environments so much more in the original series. There were a lot more, and they were better. That's just my feelings on it. So yeah, we're back at town now. We went up a few levels. I think that was enough to take care of our losing problem to Alkaid. I wish I still had that footage. I really would have loved to make like a great series of Alkaid just kicking my butt. But the rest of this episode is just going to be spent inside this town. Just I'm going to show off some of the Vital Vistas that we've done quests for, to see why we did those quests in the first place. You know, it's whatever, man. I don't know. I'm just... I went on that whole tangent in the last episode. Which sword is better? Because I can equip that flame sword now that Matsu gave me. And it does have better damage. It gives me better elements in some areas. But it doesn't have that customized bonus. But whatever. It's a story sword. Let's use it for a little bit. I end up using the sword for a big portion of the game, actually. The only thing that sucks about it is I couldn't care less about the actual abilities it has on it. It has fire attack and critical plus 10%, which is whatever. I'd much rather have the status ailments on it. Yeah, I don't... There's like a method to your madness for putting status affecting things on onto what do you want to call it? God, I'm drawing a blank. Like, you'll want to put certain status effects on different weapons depending on what it is. Like the sleep one, you don't want to put that on your twin blades, because if you if you have your Twin Blades keep attacking repeatedly, and like one of the earlier shots gets sleep put onto an enemy, your next attack will wake it up. So you don't want sleep on something like your Twin Blades when you're doing like multi-hit attacks. You'd probably want sleep something on your broadsword, which I tend to do here, because you're usually only hitting a couple of times with your broadsword, and I feel like since you're slower with your broadsword too, it might give you a bit of an advantage if the enemy goes to sleep after you're done with your attack. Overall, I don't find sleep to be too good of a status element in this one, because it is one of those games where you wake up upon being hit, so it's like, it's more annoying for you than it is using it for you, if that makes sense. A good thing I did like about, for my Twin Blades is paralysis, which isn't a status ailment in this volume, but in the next volume you will get a couple of new status ailments. Paralysis basically just freezes you in place, same as it always does, but since you don't really... your other attacks won't wake you up from paralysis, it's good because your Twin Blades hit a lot, so there's like a great chance that you'll end up paralyzing an enemy. So think about what you want to do for your status effects, if you're going to choose to do them. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. At this stage in the game, I kind of find it better than something I would normally do, because I don't know. I do like using status ailments when they're, like, useful. No kidding. But I think before then, I usually try to play it safe, too, and just do something that, has more of, like, a universal use, like upping your defense permanently and stuff like that. For Volume 1, it's like, your stats aren't going to get as high as they're going to get in later games, so... you know, upping your attack or your defense by, like, 10%... I mean, it could be useful, but I mean... nah. I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'd have to see this, where your stats are at in this game right here. If it's something like your attack is 30, 10% of that is going to be 3. So it's like, is adding 3 to your attack really going to be, like... worth keeping a weapon customized slot? So right now at least I kind of prefer having the status things, because that adds a bit more of I don't know, usefulness than the other ones do. Later on in future volumes you'll get more stuff that, like, you know, increases your stuff by 25%. I think there's one that increases it by 50%. And those are obviously a lot more useful, because your stats will be even higher too, and it'll be like imagine having 50% to up your attack in this game. If your attack was 30, that would mean you'd get another 15 points to that, so your attack would be 45. That would be something that I'd feel like is worth it. But like, it's just the 10%, I don't know, it's never really like a thing. Did you guys notice that I'm talking over all this stuff that I was going to explain and just completely forgot about? That was super professional of me. These are just all the Vital Vistas. They all explain what they want to do. Each one has like a different thing. We talked to Bickman. Bickman wants you to talk to people, and they'll hand out flyers. And by the way, that place was a shop in a future volume, but not in this one, which is why I was a little confused. And he'll give you dumb prizes, usually like attack items. This is Dr. Keppel. Dr. Keppel is the one that I said keeps track of Mecha Grunty. We talked to Dr. Kubo. That was the one that, I think that was the one that, I don't remember their names very well. One of them wanted you to keep track of the Chim Spheres you've collected. One of them wanted to keep track of the lucky animals you've hit. Blah, 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 blah. This is all just, like, stuff. I feel like this was all stuff to, like, help pad the game out more while you're waiting for Volume 2 to be released. If you're going to be playing all of these volumes, one right after another, I really don't feel a big need to waste your time with these people. If you want to do the quests early and check up on them throughout your adventure, you can get a couple of free items. But that's about it. It's not really like a big deal. Like here, the simple steam ring, level 15, like +3 to 2 elemental stats. It's like whatever. I don't care. I don't know. Maybe there's. I'm vaguely remembering like maybe if you equip all the Steam items together, you might get an extra skill. Maybe I'm thinking of the original series where there were some equipment types where they will give you an extra skill if you put them all on at the same time. I don't know. Next time, Alkaid, let's hope. My love, please. See you then.